Welcome to the CEO Crowd Show. I'm your host and coach, Rebecca Nesbitt, and today we're spilling more of the tea on why your offers aren't converting. If you're asking yourself why you aren't selling right now, your offers aren't selling, then this is really set up to solve all of your problems. So without further fluff, let's get into it, figure it out together and understand what's going wrong. And also we have to consider that this is part of a series. So previously on this series, then we have explored value ladders and the emotional needs of your clients that you're potentially not serving, as well as using market research so that you're creating something out of what people want, what the market wants, as opposed to what you think. So definitely check out those two episodes. They're complete gold. I'm completely biased, and let's dive into today. So today we're going to talk about the fact that your clients potentially have no reason to buy now. And this is this concept of urgency. And I want to give you like a real life example because urgency never worked for me before. And now I know exactly why. And it really worked for us in January 24. We had 21 women on the fence about the CEO crowd in January that converted due to a price change. Now, 16 of those converted in one day, aka the last day. So never give up on your launches, people. But the reason that we find ourselves in this boat of people having no reason to buy is because we actually have a rolling membership at the CEO crowd. So we don't have the luxury that some courses do. So this is something you can use if you have a course of get in before the next intake. We really have get in or you're going to miss boot club, get in or you're going to miss the next co-working session, get in or you're going to miss like accountability for the month, which equally you can use. And we talk about them all the time, but we don't necessarily have like a cart open, cart closed situation. So if you can do that, that's really great for urgency because it prompts people to buy. But essentially what we did is we let people know that the price was going up for like a month, like a solid month. I kept mentioning it, kept mentioning it, kept mentioning it, and felt like a total broken record. But it was to let them know that there was a deadline of February 1 where we were going to raise the price. Not only did we do that, we took away a lot of things. And whether it's the right tack to take or not is completely up to you. We were providing a lot of value and still provide insurmountable amounts of value, but we provided a lot of value to women that would come to our networking events every single week. And they got everything that they needed out of that networking event because essentially we were filling a room with fresh new leads for people every single week. You could literally have run your business through just coming to our events. And that's not a joke. And people were getting clients and they were getting lots of opportunities and they were feeling like they were part of community because then people started really coming back. So we had to take that option away. So we took that away from the beginning of the year. And then we took away our monthly pricing and we went to annual only. So instead of paying $49 that month, then essentially if you had waited till February 2nd, you had to pay $997 for the year. That really prompted people to buy. And we wanted to honor those people as well that had been with us from the very beginning and not just be like, we changed the price, sorry, you missed out. That's not fair to people. And it also is just, I don't think that's good business to just be like, well, you missed out because you didn't take action. I think you have to tell people that they're going to miss out. And that's why we converted so well in January, as well as on that last day. Like I said, never give up on your launches. It's because we actually did a few things to shake up the community a little bit, which lost us people 100%. Like I will 100% say it wasn't the perfect transition. We're just all doing the best that we can in this business game. But we got phenomenal results. And by phenomenal, I'm talking, I was speaking to my husband and I was like, I would just really love 4 women to jump in before we raise the price. And we got 21. So it's wild how this concept of urgency works and how we're going to use it also going forward. We'll have to look differently. We can't raise our prices every single, month to get more clients. We probably could as like a short-term situation, but I mean you scale to such a point that then you're like offering the wrong service to the wrong buyer, and that would just be just dramatic. And then you'd also, when it's community, You're looking at different stages of entrepreneurship. So people are coming in with different problems and they want to feel resonant with each other. So there's a lot that can come with, like, if you wanted to just constantly raise your prices, you can't do it every month. We could maybe do it every quarter, we could maybe do it every year, but that doesn't help us in the interim when we're still trying to get clients through the door, because then people start to know, oh, I'm just going to wait for the next like great deal. So when it comes to creating urgency, what are other ways to do that? Because price raising is absolutely a way, because you then have kind of an open close cart, even if you don't have a course per se. So memberships, it's great for that. And other ways to create urgency, because that might not be the right tact for you. That might not be what you want to do. You might not want to raise your prices right now. You might be like, I have 2 people in my group coaching program and I can't like raise the prices now. I've already said this is going to be the price. So then what do I do? So other ways to create urgency. And this can be for, I talk a lot about coaching. I'm a coach, obviously, that makes sense. But this can also be for services. If you're going to up the price of an audit that you do, or your branding package, or your podcast management package, if you're going to up the price of that, then it can really fuel people to be like, I'm going to get in before she ups the price. So that is one way of creating urgency. Other ways are bonuses that lapse after a certain time. So, for example, you could add a special bonus one-to-one with you. And I say this with the most love in my heart and with the most humble attitude possible. If people are actually interested in what you have to say and want your time, that's hard to hear, especially at the beginning when you don't have a big audience and they don't really know what you do yet. And you know that you're valuable. This does not mean you're not valuable. You are valuable. But do you have significant value that that person really wants to hear from yet? Because the likelihood is that, I mean, my friends and family, they bought from me when I did social networking and I had like social selling and was selling makeup and stuff, purely probably out of pity, I'll be honest. Not a single friend or family member has bought into one of my coaching packages or my membership, and nor should they. They're my friends, they're my family. They're probably not my target audience, if you know what I mean. And the friends that I have had in the space have actually bought in, to be fair, to our membership, which is just such a gift and a way that, I can continue to serve them at an even deeper level than just our friendship, which is so nice. But the thing is that if you don't pose significant value, then adding a bonus one-to-one, for lack of tact, I'm going to say who cares? Because you're not someone of significant value yet. If you've not taken the time to build up that audience, if you've not taken the time to do the lives, to do the calls with people, to put out the valuable content, to post different things that they can come along to for free, if you've not done that legwork, your one-to-one effectively does not mean a lot to someone who is in any way, shape, or form any form of established buyer. Like maybe for people that are just brand new to the space, like even more brand new than you, like you've posted on Instagram 3 times and they've not done it once, maybe then that one-to-one time is lucrative. But that one-to-one time has to come from providing value over a long time. So if you're finding that your offers aren't converting and you've added one-to-one totally for free and no one's buying in still, it's just because they don't have enough value yet, in your opinion, to then buy from you. That's not a bad thing. It's an indicator of something that you can strive to do better if it's a part of your brand and if it's a part of your message and if it's a part of what you do. Sometimes one-to-one isn't the right choice. So if it's not one-to-one, then what could you do? You could also do, a bonus training. That's an option. You could do a special event invite. So something that we've done lately, I've been doing market research for in-person events, and for everyone that comes along to the market research in terms of the calls, they've been personally invited by myself. Then I put on an extra event for them with people that I truly believe in. I've chosen market research, my specific people, for a specific reason. So like I spoke about in part 2 of this series when we were talking about market research, like pick the market research for the people that you really like and you really want to work with. Then because I've done that, I know that these people would be great connections for one another, so we're just doing a special event for them. Could I have offered them all a one-to-one? I absolutely could have. Would that have taken more of my time? Yes. Would it have been as valuable for them? I want to say, in my biased opinion and inflated sense of ego, I would probably say, yes, of course it would be valuable. It would be more valuable for them. But actually, what may be more valuable for them is those connections and its community. And sometimes, as an entrepreneur, like I said, you have to humble yourself and realize sometimes there's a better fit for these people to come together than just you telling them what to do. And I think that that's why coaching specifically, or even any type of business where you're telling people this is how to do something, it attracts people with a slight ego. And if we're not aware of it and if we don't check it, that can be really detrimental, not only for ourselves, but for our clients too. And for ourselves, I mean, if you're sitting with no offers sold, then you think that you're not valuable. And that's not true. You're innately valuable as a person and a human in this world. Absolutely 100%. Never forget that. But is your opinion valuable on certain things in this online space, if that's what you're trying to grow in, if you've not actually put any deposits in the bank? If you're not putting any deposits in the bank, you can't take anything out. It's the same with clients. If you've not put anything out for them, you can't expect to get clients paying in full multiple 5 figures. That's just not how it works. So let's create bonuses that people are actually interested in having from you. And it might be there's a training on a certain topic that's very desirable to them at this time. Something that came up a few months ago was imposter syndrome. It was on every podcast. We had a course about it in the CEO crowd. Like, we did a lot of work around it. It was a 6-week program. Like, it was wild because everyone was talking about it. It was so topical. If I had offered a training at that particular time on imposter syndrome, probably a lot of people would have bought in. Probably a lot of people would have been interested in what we had to say because it was a topic that was interesting. And yes, it was my opinion, but it was something people were listening to. It was, honestly, it was on every single podcast. I could not believe it. So that's a way to create urgency with a bonus that's maybe not just always your one-to-one time. Because also, if you're someone that's conscious of your time, completely understand that. That's like me across the back. So if you're someone that's super, super conscious of your time, then look at other options. That bonus does not always have to be your one-to-one time. It just has to be desirable. They have to desire it, they have to want it, because that's what will prompt them to sign up. So just be really conscious when you're offering those bonuses. And another way of creating urgency, and this is something equally that we use that's not that important right now, but will be as we grow, is capping numbers. So maybe you have a 6-week program and it's done with you services, your service provider, 6-week program, everyone comes together. You can only take on so much work and maintain like a healthy, balanced lifestyle, just FYI. You can only take on so much work. So it might be there's only 8 spaces. And you say that all the time. There's only 8 spaces, there's 8 spaces. Someone buys, oh, that space is gone. There's only 7 spaces. Every single time, and you're reminding people there's only so many spaces, or only so many spaces. We've started dropping it in now. We're building a community of 200 people, and then that's it. We're cut off. We don't accept new members after that 200 until someone leaves, which will happen because every business has churn, like every community has churn. It's okay. No one's upset about it. Until someone leaves, then we will have space for someone else to come in. And that's what we're creating. And the reasoning for creating that is because capping numbers is a form of scarcity, it's a form of urgency, as well as we want to be able to serve people to a very high level. And I mean, I'm in communities of, I was in a community the other day, it's over 1,800 people, lost in a sea of comments. And the thing was, is I was actually offering a job position to work with us at the CEO crowd. And from the people I know in that community, I was so confused why it didn't get as much traction. And it's because, one, they've shifted models. They used to be in Facebook, now they're in Circle, and everyone's confused. But two, there's so many people. And actually, three, there's no one repping. Like, there's no one repping you in that group. And if I want to be able to know my clients to a really high level and to rep them to other people that I meet in the space when we go to masterminds, when we go to like courses or days or whatever events, or even my friends when they're, on Facebook and Instagram and their stories and they're looking for something. I want to be able to say, hey, I know someone, let me put you straight in touch. A human being cannot manage more than 20 people in depth. I believe that after having worked in careers and having hundreds on a caseload, that at a stretch, 200 is probably my maximum of remembering decently intimate details about someone's life, like what business they run, their kids' names, things that have happened to them that are important from the past. I feel like 200 is probably my cap. And I'm going to need support to do that. 100% I'm going to need support to do that. But I believe that we'll create its own thriving ecosystem in 200 people. And if we go above that, we'll start to really lose something. And we asked our market, little nod to last week, we asked our market, what size of group do you want to be in? And most of them said under 200 people. Most of them actually said under 100 people. So we are considering making it under 100 people, but we will keep you posted. Right now it's 200. So capping numbers is, again, like, it's a form of urgency. It's saying I can only take on this many people. It's a bit like even if you have a one-to-one offer for whatever service or coaching you offer, I only have space for this many. If you have a product-based business, this is limited edition. We only have 100. I mean, I don't know how many times I have been conned by that. To be fair, I think you should be honest in your marketing. If you're going to cap it at a certain number, cap it at a certain number. I don't know how many times I'm like, I'm the last person that got this offer. Like, I don't know how many times. I had a coach once who did that, and she actually did email me and she was like, hey, I wasn't actually going to take on another client. You've managed to slip through the net. And I questioned it for so long. I was like, did I slip through the net? Or was that just something to say? And then I got to know that coach a lot more. And I know that it was genuinely like something happened in the system that was a miracle that we got to work together. But if you have a product, also offer like limited edition. Like, this is only this month do I have this amount of spaces. We are capping this at this number. This course will run for this amount of people. And that's scary usually to call a shot because it feels like you're calling a big shot, especially if you're like, I want to get like 8 people, and then you get 2, and then that makes you feel some kind of way about yourself. And it's nothing to do with you sometimes. Sometimes it has to do with your value ladder, not serving emotionally to your clients, not actually serving them what they're asking for and what they want. Or it's maybe there wasn't the urgency there before, you've never used it before, your clients aren't used to it, maybe your clients are adverse to it. Who knows? You won't know until you try it. And also, sometimes it can work in ways that you just could not imagine. If I said I'm looking for 4 people to join the CEO crowd and then we had 21, what? So be very conscious when you're putting a cap on something. It genuinely could serve you really well in the long run because it has that urgency scarcity factor. Just make sure that on the other end, people know that you're being honest and you're being congruent about it. If you say you have 8 spaces, have 8 spaces. Because if you start to say, oh, well, we'll just let one more in, we'll just let one more in, and then people are in a group and they find themselves in a group with 20 people and they thought there was only going to be 8, then that's not fair to them. So I always preach that we're honest and we're congruent in anything that you choose to offer. Whether it is, a limited time, you get this training alongside our membership, or whether it is there's only a certain amount of people. Like, I will always stand for congruence first, and congruence just means you're in alignment. And honesty, it means what it says on the tin. It means that you're honest about it and you're going to stick to your guns, and you are not going to say, oh, well, we changed our prices last week, but come in, it's fine. Girl, that's not fair. That's not fair. If you're in conversation, the only time I think that that's okay is if you're in conversation with someone on like offer day and you've not been getting back to your messages, or they've not seen it and they get it the next day and they're like, oh god damn, like I really wanted in and I was like all set with my card and then my kid vomited or something wild, then I'm like, okay, there's like, you can be a human. But if it was there's only 10 spaces and someone's like messed around and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I never got back to this." It's like, "Sorry, 10 spaces are full. Like, I can accommodate you on the next cohort." So be honest, be congruent, also be a human being, which can sometimes be a juxtaposition with one another. But that really concludes our series. Think about, like what we've said, the value ladder. Is it that you're serving emotional needs of your clients? Because if you're not, that's a really great way to help you convert offers. When it comes to market research, are you giving them what they want or trying to sell them what you think they need? Totally different things. And when it comes to the actual buying, what is the purpose of them buying? What makes it so desirable for them to buy? What do they really, really want? Like a Spice Girls song. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. And we'll close out there on this series. If you have any questions, like I said, please jump over to at the CEO Crowd on Instagram. I, for some reason, was going to say Netflix. One day, y'all. One day. And if you vibed on what we spoke about in this show. I mean, this show came out of multiple onboarding calls with female entrepreneurs in the last couple of weeks into the CEO Crowd membership. And these are concepts that we've been discussing within our membership and that everyone's really vibing high on. Everyone's doing market research right now. It's a lot of fun. And if you want to experience the crowd for yourself, then I invite you to do that totally free by signing up to come to our next networking event. The link will be in the description. And if you would like the opportunity, not only to have these conversations, like these conversations are gold and dreamy and we love them, but if you would like to directly promote to over 250 women, and it's not like a tell us what you do in the chat while I tell you about how great and wonderful I am and the CEO crowd are. Like I said, we like to humble ourselves in our house. We want you to speak live. We want you to have the mic. We want to hear from you about your business, about what you're working on, and about what you need help with and support with. Maybe you need those referrals. Maybe you are looking for affiliates. Maybe you want opportunities to speak on podcasts, in master classes, in masterminds. And maybe you're looking for clients. Maybe you are looking for your next business bestie or accountability, whatever it is for you. We have offered all of that support and more to people that have come to our free networking event. So we would invite you to come. And until we see you again next week, we'll be over here at the CEO Crowd, believing in you.